What's going on, guys? So tonight we're going to be installing a set of coilovers from Atomic Fab and Performance. Also, we're going to be doing the TBM brakes on this 2018 GMC Denali. It's already nighttime. We got a lot of work to do, so we're just going to jump right into it. All right, first starting off, you're going to want to measure from the center of the center cap to the bottom of the fender so you can get a reference mark. And then another one from the concrete to the bottom of the fender, just so you can have two reference marks. This kit that I ordered is supposed to drop it an inch, and my measurement was from the center of the center cap to the bottom of the fender was 21.5, and then from the floor to the bottom of the fender was 36.25. And this is 100% stock, just how it comes, has the factory struts on it. So yeah, let's get the wheel off and then we'll go from there. All right, for my lugs, they're going to be 22 millimeter. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is take off the sway bar link. Now it's going to be a 15 millimeter. Let me move you guys a little bit. Let me get a hammer to tap it out. It's a little tight in there. There it goes. Now I'm going to start with the bottom of the struts. Those are size 15, 2 bolts. All right, next I'm gonna do the top 3. I'm gonna get a flathead so I can take off these little caps they got on to hold the harness. Try not to break them so I can reuse them. And that one, the third one's already out. Okay, next I'm gonna remove the top 3 bolts. Those are also 18 millimeters. I'm gonna go to the top of the engine bay. And you don't want to lose these nuts because you're going to reuse these on the new kit. Let me see. Let me bring you guys up here. After you got the 3 nuts off, you're going to want to, well, this is for our truck. It has the magnet ride, so you're going to want to undo this this sensor here. This one. And then undo it from this too, because this is going to come out whenever the strut comes out. That way it's just hanging by itself. And this is the first time I'm using a wireless mic. It's actually up by my head, connected to my headband or my lamp. So I apologize if I sound 300 pounds. It's kind of hot and humid. It's been raining. Well, it rained today, and then now there's no wind. And it just kind of sucks. Anyways, should have enough room to get it out now and take it out through the top. There's that. Shit, maybe I am overweight. Lose my breath fast. All right, once you remove the factory strut, you're gonna want to take your spring or your coilover with the spring and everything, and look for the bearings that it came with and 4 of the snap rings. I put mine together just to take some photos, but let me take it back apart. All right, so this is how you're gonna get your coilover, right? Nothing on it. We gotta put these snap ring in, 1 on each side. This tool is a must. You have to have this. If not, you're gonna have a hard time. I looked it up at Harbor Freight. If you have one nearby, they're $5 for this kit. It comes with different heads, as you see over here. Don't go to AutoZone. I went to AutoZone because I had to get some anti-seize. $20 there. They ripped me a new one, and I didn't want to put the item back, so I just had to buy it. I was like, sheesh. All right, so we got this first one in. Make sure it's seated all the way, because sometimes they go in there and they're not seated. Then they got the bushing. what's this called? Is this a bushing or a bearing, or I'm just gonna call it a bearing. There we go. Put that one in, and then we're gonna put the other snap ring in. Remember, make sure it gets seated all the way in. See, like this side, it's gonna be hard to tell on the GoPro, but this side on the left it's seated in, and then the right side it is not. You want to take a flathead and just push it in there. See, it clicked in there. So we're gonna do the same thing for the top. One goes in first. Just make sure it's seated in. This one you can, the first one you can, like, you know, actually push on it and push down on it because there's nothing in the way. Then you put your bearing in. This is the one that didn't want to go in. I hope it's not going to give us trouble. There we go. Oh shit, I had it the wrong way. We want to put the last snap fitting in. There we go. This one looks like it's seated in pretty good. You can still push on it with a flathead if you want. Looks good to me. All right. After you got both bearings in with 4 snap rings, now it's time to apply the anti-seize to probably like the bottom half. It could be actually like the bottom quarter. I like to go a little bit more, so probably like that much of anti-seize. So we're gonna do that now. I should have gotten the bigger one because that one comes with like a little cool brush, but we'll make it work. You like that? All right. Now that you got all the anti-seize on there, time for the lock washer. And then you want to do the flat part facing down. And the lock washer, you want to go all the way till it hits the bottom pretty much. And I'll explain why here in a little bit. Next, it's the adjustable nut. I've been calling this a washer, I don't know. The lock nut. This is the adjustable nut. Oh, wrong way. So lock nut first, adjustable nut second. Remember, all the way to the bottom. Next is going to be your washers. The flat ones go on the inner and the outer. So flat, this weird looking one that I don't know the name to, and then the flat on top. And then your spring. You have to take out the shaft a little bit. And then the spring cap, and then compress it as far as you can. And that's how it's gonna look like. All right, let me move you guys back over there, and we'll keep going. All right, gang, check this out. So the main reason I wanted to go coilovers versus the factory struts was just to save on weight. This truck is 4x4. It doesn't really need them. When we did the cow tracks, it eliminated any bounce when we would do when we would take off from digs. So once we added the cow tracks, it fixed everything. It just shoots in a straight line. But the reason we're doing all this is to shed weight. It's a heavy 4-door truck, 4x4. So the brakes are going to save us a lot of weight, and I wanted to save a little bit more weight by doing this. So let's see. This one, it locks in a weight, so I got to move pretty quick. Let me see if I can do this one and then this. See, so all together, damn, let's see if we can get it. 16.6 pounds. Right, these 3 items with the hardware and everything. Actually, no, I'm missing the 3 bolts on top. Let me do it again and see. This, this. Oh, it's still the same thing. 16.6 is what's weighing for all 3. Now let's do the factory strut and see how much that weighs. Come on, dude, this thing takes forever. Here we go. So 24.2 pounds. Wow. Like I said, it's not a lot, but once we add it all together, the brakes, coilover, and then on this truck we did the let me turn this up real quick. We did the aluminum upper, the aluminum lower, and the knuckle. I forgot how much we saved with just doing this alone, but I'll leave it in the description, and I'll try to get like a final number of all three things: the control arms, the brakes, and the strut. I mean, and the coilover per side, how much we're saving. This one goes like this. So this is how the bottom bracket's gonna go. Hopefully you can see that. I'll take this. What I'm doing now off screen is putting the brackets on. I'm gonna leave them a little loose, just so everything has some play. Maybe I can just wiggle into place a little bit. All right, bros, this is how I left it. Top, bottom. I think what I'm gonna do is just tighten them up a little bit where it still has play, but just not as much as this. I don't want to have to be fighting under there with two keys, you know, trying to get the rest done. So let me tighten it up just a little bit more. These are size 19. While you're doing this, you're gonna want one of these factory 18mm washers in your hand. That way you can at least tack it up there. Anybody know what this is to? Comment down below if you know what this is to. I've always seen it here just dangling. I don't know what it's to or for. Just gonna put it up there. All right, next I'm gonna go up and just kind of give these, just tighten these a little bit so it's not, doesn't have that much play in it. Then we'll work on the bottom. All right, hit that thing with a few ugga-duggas. I'll be okay for now. I'm gonna torque spec everything. I don't know if it's supposed to go torque this spec, but I'm just gonna do factory torque measurements. I think those are 37 on top. The reason you wanted to put these all the way to the bottom is so you can pick up the spring or the coilover as high as you can, and then with that it's gonna give you room down here to insert it. I don't know if you can see that. This fits perfect. All right, now we're gonna start working on the bottom. So on Richard's kit, let me aim this down a little bit. Richard's kit, you're gonna have 4 bolts in a baggie like this. They're 14mm, and those are for the lower coilover. The only thing I'm confused, I don't know if it's supposed to go like this or down. I'm just gonna follow the factory way they were going up. And I would recommend using gloves at this point. The NICs gets everywhere. It's gonna get everywhere. It looks like I freaking beat off Silver Surfer. I got it all over my phone, all over my GoPro, the microphone. Probably on me, I just don't know yet. Doing the other side, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the weight savings we're gonna have with this. You know, the brakes, they claim 51 pounds for both sides. So now we're saving another, I think it's 8 pounds with the coilovers. We'll just say 15 for both sides. 15 plus 51, what is that, 66 pounds? With just the brakes and the coilovers. I still gotta do the math on these 3 things, the upper, the lower, and the knuckle. I don't remember exactly how much we saved with them. I don't know if it was 20-30 pounds. I'll have to look again, but still, you know, it's pretty good, especially for a 4-door 4x4 truck. I think that's the best thing you can do, is start and look into cutting weight. All right, so these bottom ones are 14 mil. Let's see if we can get this in there. It's because the camera's in the way, but so yeah, we're gonna leave them like that. I'm gonna go back and torque them all to factory specs. I think it's 37 foot-pounds. I don't know if it's recommended to do it since these are aftermarket, but you know, just to be safe. So now that we got the bottom bolts, top bolts on, everything's pretty much there, you can start adjusting the adjuster nut. I think that's what it's called, adjusting nut. Putting some pressure to the top. Once you get it pretty tight, leave it there, and then finish tightening off this bolt and the bottom bolt also. All right, these bolts and nut was 19 mil. I'm pretty much just gonna tighten these to where this doesn't have play side to side like this. I don't want to over tighten them, but I don't want any play also. And there's no play now, it's just the spring cap that's making that noise. I'll do the bottom one now. Alright, there we go. But yeah, so the factory measurement was 21.5 from the center of the cap to the bottom of the fender right there. And these are designed to drop 1 inch. So I guess we'll just keep adjusting it until, you know, the center cap to the bottom of the fender is 20.5. So now we're gonna put the sway bar bolt back on. And I'm gonna torque this to spec also. I think it was 14 foot-pounds, if I'm not mistaken. And this size is 15 mil. There we go. The top ones are also 39 foot-pounds. All right, those 3. Like I said, I don't know if these are supposed to go torque to spec, but just to give me some peace of mind that shit ain't gonna fucking blow off at 100 and you know, kill me and all the passengers in there. Overall, that looks pretty good. All right, guys, it's day 2. As you can tell, I didn't finish it last night. I got tired. My back was killing me. So I just decided to leave it for the morning, which was kind of a mistake because now it's cold. And the wind's hitting my back. So that's great. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is start working on the brakes. I know that the coilover isn't where it's supposed to be, but we're going to take care of that later. For now, we're going to start just taking off all the factory parts. And we're going to start doing that now. I guess the only 2 bolts we need, well, actually, you know, it's a couple. It's going to be 2 18mm back here. And then it's going to be this for the brake fluid, the 13 mil, and then up here, if you can see, hopefully you can see that, it's where it connects to the brake line. So we're gonna start with this one, 11 mil, and you're gonna need a cup or something so the fluid can drain into. I don't think it should be a lot, but we're gonna find out. Okay, next I'm gonna do the top one, and I think that one was a 13 mil. Probably helped to go the right way. Hopefully you can see that. All right, now that we have the top taken off, I'm gonna take off the bracket that holds the hose in place. This is an 11 millimeter. I'm just gonna break that shit off. Put this. I'm gonna put this bolt back into this place just so it doesn't get lost. I might have to make something later for the new braided lines with this. Next, I think we're gonna use a flathead to take off this top clip. Yeah, just a flathead prying it out. Seemed to work. Now this is gonna come out nice and smooth there. Next, I'm gonna take off the two 18 millimeter bolts that are holding on the factory brakes. Bro, what the Bro, I don't know who tightened these before me, but Jesus Christ. All right, now that that's off, I'm gonna use a T30. Yeah, T30 to take this bolt off. And that's gonna allow us to move the rotor. All right, now that the rotor's off, I'm gonna go ahead and just clean this the surface of this, make sure that all the rust is out as best as I can. That way when we put the new rotor on, the surfaces meet up with no gaps or trash stuck in between. All right, now that we got the hub all clean, next we're gonna move on to the rotor with the hat. Unfortunately, I did this off camera, but this is straight out of the instructions. You're gonna wanna put these on, right? You're gonna put a Loctite on each bolt and you're gonna torque them to 10 foot-pounds. This hat can go on backwards, so if you put the hat on backwards, you're just gonna lose clearance, and then you're gonna find out later on that it's not lining up. That happened to me on the other side. That's why I had a hard time. So once you get this process down, you know, put them in, start tightening them as a star, as you would like a wheel, 10 foot-pounds, and then we're gonna move on to the bracket that goes on the back of here. This is where things get a little fishy, because going off the instructions by TBM, let me show you right here. Right, it tells you place the caliper bracket on the face of the knuckle as shown above. Apply red Loctite and tighten to 80 foot-pounds. So it's instructing you to put the bracket on, put Loctite on it, and torque it. And if we look at the photo here, I'm sorry, let me put this on vibrate. If we look at this photo here, let's see. If we look at this photo here, hopefully the glare doesn't show. You can see that it's the nut, or it's the bolt with the washer, right? This is the whole photo. But the problem I was having on the other side is the caliper wouldn't line up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it like they have it instructed, and then I'll show you what problem I was having. I'm just not gonna use any Loctite because I gotta take this back off. All right, I'm gonna put the bracket on like they have it on the website. I'm just not gonna use any Loctite because I want to show you. I'm gonna take this back off. So we have it like this. Let me get the other bolt. Right, washer, bolt goes through. Okay, there's that. These bolts are size 22 mil. So I'm just gonna snug them up. Let me see. Next, we're gonna slide on the hat with the rotor assembly. And if you look inside, I mean, there's a ton of holes. They all fit. The ones that I went with and the correct ones are these with the bevels on them. So just line them up and slide it in. I mean, you can't mess this up, but you can lose some time if you install it wrong and then you see that it doesn't fit. You gotta take it off. And we're gonna just put 2 lugs on there, hold to hold everything in place. And then now we're gonna get the bolts and washer for the caliper, and then get the caliper. This one has the vent on the top, so that's how it goes. You don't want to, because they're mirrored, so you can put this one on the other side. It's just not going to be installed correctly. Okay, and I'm going to snug these down also. And take off this clip so I can slide in the brake pads. All right, so we got the pads. I'm gonna put one in, put the other side in, and this side goes in really, really hard. And this is the problem that I was having on the other side. Hopefully you guys can see that. So I would have a gap here, and then no gap on this side. It was actually really hard to put this brake pad in. And all the videos that I've seen and the instructions, the kit comes with shims to push this caliper in, but we need to push it out. So I was like, man, I just don't understand like why it's not working out. So what I had to do was remove the washer from this and place it between the bracket. Let's see if we can get it over here, and then put it right here between the bracket and the knuckle to push this caliper this way. I'm gonna do that now and then I'll show you. All right, so I got the bracket off. I loosened up the lug nuts just to be able to pull the rotor back a little bit. And then I'm gonna reinstall everything, but with the spacer between the knuckle and this bracket. And then again, I'm not gonna apply the Loctite right now because I'm gonna make sure everything fits, and then I'll, oh shit, forgot the washer. But yeah, I'm not gonna apply the Loctite right now because just making sure everything fits like it's supposed to, and then I'll put some Loctite on there, and then I'll torque it to 80 foot-pounds, which that's what calls on the instructions. Okay, and then I'm just gonna snug these up a little bit. Remember, these are 22mm. And then I'm gonna tighten the lug nuts again so the rotor can be firmly against the hub. Okay, now I'm gonna put the caliper on. All right, let me get this snugged in. All right, now that that's on, let's put the brake pads in. You already see that one goes in a lot smoother. And now this inner one doesn't go in, right? Back then it was the opposite. So before we had the washer on the outside, like it was instructed in the pictures, and we couldn't get this rotor in. Well, it went in, but it was real tough. So now that we switched the washer, this one goes in perfect, and this one goes in tight, and that's when we're gonna use the shims to push this back, to move it in just a little bit, and then make sure we have equal gaps on both sides. So let's do that now. I'm sure both sides aren't the same. One could take more shims or less shims than the other side, but I'm gonna start off with probably the thicker ones. They give you these are 31 thou, and then this one that's 10. Hope I said that right. I think it's 0.031 is what it is. And then this thinner one is 0.010. You get what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? All right, these shims, they're supposed to go in between the caliper and the, what is that? The bracket, right? So it goes here. It goes like this. But the problem is they suck staying in place. So what I did is I just put a little bit of tape to hold them. Let me do that now. All right, this is what I did. This is what I did on the other side. I just put little pieces of Scotch tape just to hold the washer, because trust me, man, once you get to this point, it's a pain. Put the brake pads in. See, that one goes in good, and this one now goes in good. If we look at the gap, let me see. Hope you can see the gap there, but it's a lot better than what it was. I think I'm gonna add, I'm gonna measure it, but I think I'm gonna add one of the smaller ones, the 10,000. And I think it will be perfect, and it's gonna match that other side because that's what I did. I put 1 and 1, but let me see. Put some light on it. So you see that? You see that the left side's just a little bit thicker than the right? I think we need to add one more shim. But like I said, every truck, every vehicle is gonna be different, so I wouldn't just follow what I'm doing. But let me get that done and I'll come back and show you guys. All right, now I got the thick shim and the small shim, or the thick and the thin on one side, or on the top, and then thick and thin on the bottom. And this is how it looks now. It's pretty much even. I put in some filler gauges, 35 and 10, and it goes in there really, really tight. So I'd say about 45 thou. And on this other side, it's a 35 and a 12. Yeah. So that's not too far off, but it's better than before. So now I'm gonna take off the 22mm bolts. I'm gonna take the top one off, put thread locker in, or yeah, put red thread locker and put it in, torque it at 80, do the same thing with the bottom. And then these, for the caliper ones, these go torque to 37 foot-pounds. 80 foot-pounds, 37. And the caliper ones are gonna go to 37. I don't think I've mentioned this one yet, but the ones for the caliper, that one's size 5/16. So my bad on that. All right, after that's in, you want to put the brake pad pin back on with the clip that they provide. Also a small prayer that we did everything correctly. Again, if you watch this video and you see something that's not done properly, just comment so I can take the video down and not risk someone's life. So yeah, I think the only thing left to do is adjust the coilovers. I'm gonna end up probably cutting this little bracket here. This is for the Magnerite, I'm guessing. I'm sure I'm gonna have to buy some sensors to kill the service light that's gonna be coming on. But adjust the coilovers to the height that I want. Probably flush all the brake fluid out, because I bought the one that TBM recommended on their website. I don't remember the exact name, but it's gonna be in the description. Flush all that out, put these lines in. This is the lines I had to buy separate. This is the part number. You have to buy these separate for the kit, because you're not gonna use the factory ones anymore. So yeah, just flush the lines out, install new fluid, and then that should be it. I'm gonna do this all off camera, because I mean, it's kind of just messing with the fluid and the hoses. And then I'll come back whenever everything's legit. What's up, everybody? It's been about 7 to 8 days since I last worked on this truck. I tried to end the video off by saying that all you had to do was connect the brake lines, bleed the system, and then get ready to rock. Well, it wasn't nothing like that. Once I turned the camera off, I noticed that the fittings that TBM provided were not the ones that this truck needed. For some reason, they just sent the wrong ones with their kit out. I reached out to them, and I told them what was going on, and they told me that all the part numbers were correct, that maybe I just had to clean the threads off this. But I mean, I tried every way. I thought it was me, like how confident they sounded, you know what I mean? Like, I thought I was doing something wrong, but clearly you can see there that this one's way too small for this M12 thread. So what I had to do is I had to buy my own. Here, let me see if you can see the size difference between these two. Hopefully you can see that. As you can see, the one on the left is the one that TBM sent me, and the one on the right is the one that I had to buy on my own. So I reached out to them on Instagram. We were just going back and forth, and they said that they were going to look into it. Well, they never really got back to me. And then I sent them a screenshot of this one, and I said, is this the ones that I need? And they said, yeah, those are the ones. So I was hoping they were going to reimburse me something, but they kind of just left me on red on that. So yeah, I had to buy these on my own. I had to wait for the shipping, and then finally we got them in. And as you can see, these go in and these work. Of course, right now it's all like bent, so it probably won't go in, but I'm gonna put it all together, and I'm gonna show you guys how to connect these. Yeah, never mind, we're not gonna be able to bleed the brakes after all. The fittings that TBM recommended, after they already sent the wrong ones, were also wrong. They fit, you know, they went in smooth, but I think they're concave. I did send them a screenshot before ordering them. They said, hey, yeah, those will work. So I bought them. So I'm down probably 110 from the hoses and the fittings from them, and then another like $65 for these fittings. So I'm about to put up, and then I'm gonna go inside and look for some fittings that will work. This fitting up here for the factory brakes is a M12 by 1.0, and the one that they were saying in their kit, I got some bolts and I put them in there until one fit, was an M10 by 150. So that wasn't gonna work, and then this one worked. This is the one they recommended, but the fitting is different, or the style is different. I think this one's concave instead of the double flare for the brakes. So kind of disappointed. Already wasted 8 days, but we're gonna jump back online and see who has some, or maybe give them another call tomorrow and see what they can do, because I'm trying to get this thing going already. What's up, guys? It's pretty much about 6 days later since that last video. I had to reach back out to TBM and just kind of just beg them for them to help me. I told them, hey, the first set that you guys sent were wrong. You guys recommended a second set that were also wrong. I really just need help. Whoever's running the Instagram account really doesn't know what they're talking about, because from the very beginning I had told them, hey, I went to your website and I looked up this part number, which is kind of hard to tell, maybe because of the flash, but it's TBFBK24. And I said, when I type this in, it comes back to the 2021 to 2024 F-150s. I said the one that they had put on my invoice the first time was this one, TB FBK24-1. Exact same numbers, except this one has a -1. And the guy on Instagram was like, no, that just means the -1 just means that it has the hardware. They're all exactly the same thing. So I was like, maybe it's something on my end. No, I was wrong. Finally, this other guy, Ben, jumped onto the chat. I guess he took over my complaint or whatever on Instagram. He said, hey, we realized we sent you the wrong stuff after all. We're going to send you the correct stuff. So whenever you put these on, send us back, the stuff that we had sent you. And at this point, I'm probably just going to trash it. I'm not even going to send it back to them because, I mean, I've wasted probably like 3 weeks just waiting on stuff. And I've wasted about $70 extra on fittings that aren't going to be used, that I don't need. So let's finally put these on and see if they work. All right, there it is. Waited probably like 3 damn weeks just for that. So finally somebody with common sense could figure out what was going on. All right, so now that we got the correct fittings on there, let me bleed the brakes and finally be able to drive this thing, because it's just been parked this whole time.